Good evening, everyone. Navajo Carnivore here. I am just making a video update this week. I didn't do the whole um, update for this week, just to the fact that I was so busy. But as well as my 30 days actually coming up in 2 days, so I'll just do a video then. But I just want to record something as of right now, just to give an insight of what I've been thinking about this past week. Regarding to I actually attended a meetup this last Saturday, a week ago, in Gilbert, Arizona. I got to meet so many other carnivores, ketovores. Um, it was an amazing experience. It was a very surreal experience because it was the first time I actually got to meet other carnivores, other ketovores, and it was refreshing that you get to meet all these amazing individuals that follow the same lifestyle as you because they want to make a positive change in their own life. And it's not seen as unusual. Many of my friends, my family, when I talk about this, they seem like this is a weird lifestyle. Of course, oddly, it is because it's not the traditional norm. And I feel amazing. I feel great because of it. But it gets tiring because you don't have anyone to support you. You don't have anybody that understands what you're going through. All the research you've done, all the reading you've done, all the mental um, mental battles you had to go through, especially trying to change the addiction to carbs, to addictions to sugars. And I think it was something that I truly needed because the last time I actually was carnivore, I never had that. I never experienced that. I never got to meet anybody like that. So to discuss what we eat, how we eat it, how we cook it, what are the changes you're doing, what are you doing this, how much sodium are you taking, how many electrolytes are you taking, how are you getting your fats, it's amazing to actually read that, actually watch that on videos, absorb all this information to try to better yourself. But it's also really fun to be able to talk with other people. One example was an amazing individual. Her name was April. She actually drove all the way down from Wisconsin. Um, First person I talked to there, just waiting in line. Again, it was in this barbecue place. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know, none of them had any name tags or anything. So I don't know who was there as a regular customer or someone that's there for the meetup. So, but what was amazing is everyone was so welcoming. Um, the community was just so amazing to welcome me as one of their own, as if I've been there from day one. It's amazing, but they were always also so encouraging that you are doing this for the right reasons. You're doing this to better your life, to better your health, because that's all they went through, and they understand that as a new carnivore, you don't have that, and they were so encouraging with that. Example, the individual I was talking about, April, her mother actually is carnivore as well, and they talk about how they make their broth, how they do so. They're just little things here and there from all walks of life. So it's amazing. Um, I got to meet the organizer. Her name is Tiffany. She's on Instagram. She's the one that kind of helped put it all together. Um, I found that amazing because I just was sitting there. Um, for me, just how I am naturally, I'm very reserved. I don't like to share or really socialize, especially social environments really mentally drain me. And that's just how I am. I can do it, but not for a very long time. Um, but I think that was one of a keynote of this is helping me because I actually wanted to go. I was actually excited to go to do that. Um, But I was just so happy to sit in there, and she was just sitting by me. I didn't know who she was, but got to meet her. Um, Icebreaker is my name is Troy. I rarely meet anybody. I don't think I've ever actually met somebody named Troy. Um, but there I met three others. So apparently Troy's are carnivores. I don't know, but it was hilarious. That's how we broke the ice on that one, because her husband name was Troy. Another person was introducing himself to her husband as Troy. So then there was also talking about there's another Troy. Then they're like, "Oh, hello, what's your name?" And shook their hands, and I said my name is Troy. So there was like four of us. So it was a nice experience on that. But um, I actually got to meet somebody that I've always looked up to for many years since watching her content, Laura Spath, and I tell you not, she's just exactly how she is in her videos. She's so encouraging. She's so patient. Um, I was intimidated. I'm not sure if I gave off that. I didn't want to. I was more in shock, and I didn't. But it was encouraging, especially me being Navajo, and we're talking about why I did this, how long I've been doing it, my first attempts. But what I also found when it came to carnivores is many of them, it wasn't their first attempt, it was numerous attempts, but they're so encouraging that they're like, it takes a few tries as long as you keep getting back on. So, and they were talking about the idea of like guilt, that that because I fell off carnivore, I should, that self-esteem of I should stop, this and that. But no, they were like, hey, if you fall off one day, get right back on it. Like, don't feel guilty. It's hard. It's a mental battle, because carbs and sugars are addicting. So when and many of them understood that. Many of them referenced what they knew. They actually gave me some good reading material as well to read, and but they understood that carbs and sugars are addicting. So it is hard, but as long as you're making that attempt, that's the most important thing. And that's what I love about it. That's what I loved about the community. But Laura, we were discussing on my experiences, why I'm doing this, but even historically, and she was very encouraging that you know keep doing this. Other people follow once they actually see a positive change, and that was very heartwarming to me, that she just doesn't see it as you're getting yourself better, but as well as you can also help other people down the road. But then we're talking more of historically of how Native Americans in general received rations, how they got carbs, sugars, flour. I mean, those things, nature. Even when it comes to, we're even having discussions with other people that are non-native on fry bread, and how it's basically just straight flour, but it's also cooked in vegetable oil or seed oils, which is very dangerous for the body. And the more I think about that, the more foods I enjoyed back then. Um, and we're also discussing on body types of how it's affecting people. I was even discussing with many of my family, my grandparents, many relatives I've met throughout the years, friends. They are very active. They're very active during the days. Their work is very like strenuous, outside blue collar kind of work, but they're still obese. Um, they still have trouble losing weight, but as well as some of them have actually been diagnosed diabetic, but yet they get enough of the exercise. So this even proves, when I was talking with Laura on, even in many of the researches, of how that's affecting the body. No matter how much exercise we're doing, it's actually affecting how we're burning it off, and a lot of that, especially seed oils, seed oils, vegetable oils, straight carbs in general. A lot of those are not able to be processed at all by Native Americans in a very healthy way. Some of them can. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some people that are very healthy, but many of them can't. And so that just made me a lot of those ideas when they were discussing that, when we were discussing anything like that, it made me even think more. You know, and I think that's the importance of community, is actually able to grow and mature and start to think of new ways to try to help people. And a lot of this was very welcoming. It was very fun. A lot of laughs. You know, yes, it was on serious topics. Of many of them people were diabetic. Many people were obese. Many people had autoimmune diseases. Many of them had arthritis. But the key thing of it is they all stuck to this way of life, and they reversed it. I've seen some of the people that they were saying they were 300, 350, 400 pounds, but now they're like 200, they lost a lot of weight. They reversed their diabetes. They reversed a lot of the autoimmune symptoms. They, they've gone to a healthy way, and they're living a good life. And that's one thing I was very touched by. And that's how I started making more life that, like, hey, that's what also made me think, like, hey, I should go to this community. It got me out of my shell, much more happier. I actually started to do more things outside the house for myself as well, for my mental health and for my enjoyment. Even an example of it was I just went to the movies just by myself, just to have fun. But as well, another one is I started to take to exercise more, as well as to take martial arts courses. I've always wanted to do that. Always wanted to do something that interesting since, growing up I saw many of the old Chinese type of movies with martial arts. Loved them when I grew up. I always wanted to learn things like that. But my self-conscious, my self-esteem didn't want me to do that. I was always afraid to do that. But since, really changing how I did this carnivore between the last attempt has really improved, that I've had better energy levels to do it, more confidence to actually go to do it, and I've actually had a lot of fun. This week, I am hoping it'll be a lot. It's going to be more exercise as well, but we shall see. A lot of it's doing with my days off and trying to get everything done. But other than that, thank you very much for watching this video and just sharing my thoughts on the importance of community, and well as listening to others when they follow this way of life, because it's different seeing it on the screen, but actually meeting people that how this lifestyle has actually helped them is very encouraging. That has actually boosted my morale to actually do it further. But I shall see you in 2 days, actually, when I do my 30-day carnivore. That's when I do the weigh-in. Just the idea so far, like, I'm not sure if I did lose any weight. I don't really see it with myself right now. But I have also been eating a little bit more fat, so I'm not sure if I need to up the exercise while keeping the same fat, or should I reduce the fat. But I don't know. We'll do it at the weigh-in. But overall, I'm feeling great. And, well, that's all for today. Well, it's good having a talk with y'all. We'll see you in a couple of days. Have a good night. Have a good day.